This is my notepad. It's been, sat on a few thousand times, used as a wedge so my chair wouldn't teeter, and hopelessly abused in many other ways. So, why do I carry this thing everywhere with me? In short, it provides me with something incredibly valuable that, at least to my knowledge, I haven't been able to find anywhere else. This all started from a very well-meaning Nathaniel Drew, who is kind of a notebook expert, if those even exist.
It is amazing to me how few people actually do this.
I was intrigued, but very skeptical, as one should be, because not everything you see on the internet is true. And I kept bumping into this with other YouTubers where they would experiment with taking notes, with a pen and paper, or writing video scripts with a pen and paper, or scheduling or journaling and things like that. So I played around with it a little bit. I even bought some super bad to the bone tactical notepads that are waterproof and practically indestructible. But for some reason, I just couldn't quite get into it. I kept starting and stopping, start, stop, back and forth until eventually I got tired of it and just quit. So I decided that it must be for a very select few group of people, and I was not in that select few. But then I started hearing things that I just couldn't quite ignore. For example, I found a best-selling author who wrote every single memory he had as a child in a notebook. As an adult, he would go back and remember and write them, and he literally has shelves of notebooks. It's whoa. Or an incredibly prolific author now who writes his books with a pen and paper and then has someone convert them. Even back in history, I found people like C.S. Lewis who would intentionally use ink that took longer to dry because it forced him to stop after every phrase and wait and think before he wrote the next thing. What is going on here? And now in our fast-paced media-consuming era, there are a select few that seem to be moving back to that, or at least trying it out. And despite all the fancy new apps and softwares coming out, there's just this nagging thought that perhaps we are leaving something behind that we shouldn't. And I really, really wanted this to be me. I just loved the idea of the tactile experience and expressing my thoughts on paper and the permanence of it and the feel and the sound. It just,
I know I'm such a weirdo about this, but it's the sounds, it's the feeling.
It just sounded so cool, but I just couldn't. And that's when life circumstances, AKA mechanical problems, led me here to this moment, to where a completely absurd idea was born. What if I bought a little notepad and a pen and treated it like a phone, taking it literally everywhere with me? The rational part of my brain was dude, it's the 21st century, come on. But the emotional part of my brain was ooh, who knows? I mean, what if something amazing were to happen? You can guess what I decided. I instantly fell in love with it. We went everywhere together and I never left the house without it. I even took it a few places that I didn't take my phone. My phone was very offended. Unlike my phone, my notepad never goes dead, never distracts me, and above all, it has absolutely no agenda. If I ignore it, it doesn't even try to get my attention. Okay, this all sounds a little facetious, right? But I'm actually dead serious, and here's why. Attention. Attention is one of the rarest and most valued commodities in our world today. If you can learn how to capture someone's attention and hold it, you instantly have opportunity that no one else has. And from all around us, there are hundreds of intruders that are constantly competing for just a tiny little slice of our attention so that they could fill it with their message or their product or their ideas. And what's interesting is often the best and most useful technological tools that we have are oftentimes the best at capturing our attention. So you're probably wondering are you anti-media or something here, Austin? No, I mean, I'm kind of a YouTuber, so would kind of defeat the purpose. But I do trust and acknowledge that businesses that spend, millions of dollars learning how to best capture my attention are probably really, really good at it. Like, that is their business. I'll give you an example and tell me if you can relate to this or not. But have you ever picked up your phone to do something specific, like, send a message or make a note or look something up, and within like 3 seconds, you had no idea, like you had completely forgotten why you picked up your phone in the first place? And if that's ever happened to you, then that's a prime example of you stepping in to use a tool to further your own agenda, but instead you got hijacked by something that looked a little bit more enticing in the moment, and it completely derailed what you were originally trying to do, at least for the moment. But if you're, trying to avoid a problem or not face something that you should be facing and you just wanted a quick distraction, it's great for that. But what it's not great for is organic thinking. And here we come to the most important thing that this little notepad offers me that I haven't been able to find anywhere else. One of the first things I noticed when I started carrying this thing around with me is it provided me with a place to just spill organic thoughts with zero, like get that, zero potential to ever be distracted or for outside ideas to mingle with my own. And by organic thinking, I'm specifically defining that as like something that only pertains to you, that you don't want any other ideas to be mixed with. And speaking from past experiences, this could be anything from, making a grocery list that I'm sure my friend Zach remembers, to, trying to process emotions and figure out why I'm angry at a friend. Or another aspect of this is putting down creative ideas, because a creative idea can come very quick and it can just pop into your head. And if there's any kind of distraction, you can lose that, at least I can. And I can't count how many times I've picked up my phone to write down a creative idea that I've had and just completely lost it because something caught my attention or something distracted me before I could get it all out. And that is really, really frustrating, honestly. And there's one more aspect of this that I think is really, really important and that's worth mentioning. It's like, have you ever forgot to take your phone somewhere with you? Like for a couple of hours. Not that you had it with you but on silent, but you literally didn't even have it with you. If you're anything like me, there's something different about physically being removed from something that can distract you, like your phone, versus just having it like with you but on silent. It's like suddenly your brain like realizes, oh, there's like literally no possible way for me to be distracted or pulled in that direction. And it seems like it redirects your focus onto other things, like your surroundings. Another way of thinking about it is at least for me, it keeps me from sleeping with one eye open, as it were. Like where that analogy of like sleeping and you're always aware, like just in case something pops up that you need to be alert for. That's kind of what it feels like sometimes. And so when you remove that completely, it's literally gone. Then suddenly energy refocuses. And that's something that, again, using this really does very well, is it removes any of those distractions and it actually allows your brain to refocus that energy. And this is huge because this can literally make the difference of solving or jeopardizing a solution or creative idea. Okay, so I've been wandering around with this notepad and pen in my pocket for several months now. Sometimes I go a week without even using it. It doesn't care. Sometimes the table is out of balance at a restaurant, so I stick it underneath the leg to keep it from wobbling. Seriously, it couldn't care less. Now, I don't use this for everything, obviously. There are some stuff that is wildly impractical for me to use a notepad for, and that my phone or my laptop just does way better at. And so it's not even a question in that regard. But when something pops up that makes me stop and go, ooh, that's important. 9 times out of 10, I will, at least during the discovery phase of an idea, I will often choose a medium where it is literally impossible for any other agenda other than my own to be present, where nothing will mix with my idea. This will cost you $1, so feel free to try it out for a few weeks and just see if it works for you. What I love to do is whenever I'm in a group and it's like everybody's on their phones and it's all bored and stuff, instead of pulling out my phone, I'll pull out my notepad and just start writing. It's amazing, like literally no one sees it coming.